Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast, the travel edition. We are currently sitting in a hotel room in Dubai, and Pakistan versus New Zealand, the first match of the Champions Trophy happened while we were on the flight. And before we get into the match, Bashar, I know you were knocked out. 9 hours of the 13 hours of the flight, this man was out. So there was nobody I could talk to about the game, which was being live commentated to me via the Patreon group chat. I'd let everybody know that I only have texting on my Air Canada Wi-Fi. And everybody was so kind. They were telling me like every single excruciating match detail. And everybody on the Patreon chat, my friend Shazib, our cousins, everybody who was like keeping me informed about the game, I truly appreciate it. Honestly, like this is, it was a great time. Like it was the most surreal experience of the game. I mean, no, you didn't have that, but I gave you all that information when you woke up. And when I did that, Bashar, how did you feel about that?
I was shocked. Oftentimes on this podcast, more recently, we've been blamed of being too negative. And I would like to say we're just saying things how they are. Pakistan had a horrible squad selection. They've had a horrible tri-series. But I was still trying to have some optimism for this match. And I thought Pakistan would come through, not because Pakistan is a good ODI team, but because this is home advantage. And I was relying on big match players like Babar Azam, Salman Agha, Shaheen Afridi to come up and win the match for Pakistan. So when you told me Pakistan lost, the first thing I asked you is, what happened to Fakhar?
Yeah.
And you were like, Fakhar's injured, he couldn't bat, he couldn't open. And then the whole story started to play in my head. I already imagined what had happened.
First ball of the game, bro. First ball of the game. This guy goes for a semi-dive. Knees busted.
Do you think this is the Imam ul Haq conspiracy?
What do you mean?
Saim Ayub replaces Imam ul Haq, and then Saim Ayub plays beautifully, gets injured randomly. Like, who fractures their ankle?
Imam ul Haq
hold on, and then now Fakhar Zaman, first ball of the Champions Trophy, injured.
You think that Imam ul Haq has put a vex on this team? Hey, we don't confirm nor deny any of this.
All jokes. But
at this point, we're in Dubai, but we don't have access to the game. So we were trying to like bootleg, videos to watch, to basically analyze what actually happened. And you could read the Cricket Info articles. You can read, the chat, Bashar, the Patreon chat. I know you skimmed through that as well. The bottom line was that Pakistan gave 2 runs and underscored.
Yeah, what I heard Rizwan say is that they expected this pitch to be like a 260, 250 pitch, which to me is surprising for a Karachi pitch. Pakistan got to a good start. They got 3 wickets for like 70, and they looked like they had the upper hand. And then came Tom Latham, Glenn Phillips. Pakistan's death bowling has been an issue since the past 2 series.
Past 3 games against New Zealand, they've given over 100 runs in the last 10 overs, continuously.
And we've talked about this consistently on the podcast. But I felt like with Haris Rauf coming back into the squad, our death bowling would be better. It would be a lot more stronger.
He went for 83 today.
It's a lot of runs.
That's a lot of
runs. This is Pakistan's first ICC ODI event with that magical tri-series that we had. Haris Rauf, Shaheen Afridi, Naseem Shah. And we missed Naseem Shah so much in the last ODI World Cup. Well, here is everybody. The trifecta is here. And clearly not as effective as we thought it would be. Perhaps we were just hiding behind these injuries. Like last ODI World Cup, it was, Naseem Shah is not here. And
the
then
one before that, T20 World Cup, was Shaheen.
Shaheen wasn't fully fit. And then now it's Saim Ayub. Like, how is it that Pakistan keeps losing one player, one piece of the puzzle, and suddenly it's all shambles? Like, you look at other teams, India has lost Bumrah, but despite that, they've just whitewashed England in India. Australia is going to be coming in with a B team almost. They're missing 5 main players. But when they come on the field, we will see them be effective, still be competitive. Pakistan, on the other hand, we lose one player, panic mode. And for the past 3 or 4 podcasts, we've been talking about Pakistan's poor selection, how we are only going in with one specialist opener, and we are pushing Babar Azam to number 2 as an opener, which is he's never opened in ODI cricket in his life. He's only opened in franchise cricket and T20Is, which is a different ball game altogether.
Man, even today, we had to push that even further because when Fakhar got injured, Saud Shakil opened. And this is where I think that, the cracks in the strategy of it all is showing. If Rizbar was so prolific, right? And you and I have talked about the praises of Rizbar as well, and then we've talked about how this might be setting Pakistan cricket back a few years if you keep continuing with this with this pair. At the end of the day, this pair has opened for Pakistan many a times in T20s. They know each other. They have good chemistry on that position. If Fakhr was unavailable for whatever reason, why didn't just Babar and Rizwan open the innings? Why did you send a less than confident, underwhelming Sauchek Shakil, who has basically proven nothing in the past 3 or 4 innings, to go out there and helm for himself and try to chase 320?
These are good questions, but you know my stance on Rizwan opening in T20Is. I don't think Rizwan has the technique to combat swing in the first few overs.
Bashar, there was no swing on offer in a Karachi
Bro,
dead pitch, man. They were just hitting
Matt
lengths.
Henry, you put a dime on the pitch and he'll nail that 5 out of 6 times.
That's what I'm trying to say. It was just lengths, right? It was just line and lengths. There was not enough movement for Rizwan to be insecure about his batting. So I just feel like when a captain is supposed to step up, he did not step up. Imran Khan showed up. He was number 3 in that World Cup final in 1992. He knew that his middle order was not able to sustain himself. So him and Javed Mirdad took the game on. This is what they were supposed to do today. Him as in Rizwan was supposed to be the Imran Khan role. Javed Mirdad be the Babar Azam role. And we'll come to Babar Azam because I have a bone to pick with him.
I think Rizwan is pretty comfortable batting at number 4. The other issue
Came at
is,
3 today.
the other issue is that Saud Shakil had been batting at number 5 for Pakistan in ODIs previously. Like in the last ODI World Cup, he batted number 5. And suddenly, again, you push him to number 3 after removing Kamran Ghulam, who scored like a 62 off 32 balls in South Africa, man of the match. And he's out of the team. So just a lot of chopping and changing, players playing out of position. Like I know I'm all about players adapting for the sake of the country and what the team demands. But so that 3, then him being forced to open also, like, so basically in this match, 2 guys opened who have never opened in List A cricket or ODIs.
Yes.
So they're already playing out of position. They're already playing in a position where they're not fully comfortable. And 10 overs, 22 for 2, just unspeakable.
The worst power play performance by a home team ever. Take that in.
I think this is Pakistan's lowest power play score in the last 5 years.
Like this is, and in such a crucial moment like this, a tournament so short, if a team goes all the way, they play 5 games. So you've basically lost 25% of or 20% of your entire credibility of staying in this tournament. And this is, again, I've already started seeing the similarities between 2017 when Pakistan lost from India and it was a horrible defeat and this, that, and the other. That was a different side. This is a different side. We have different players, different management. The ethos of that team was completely different. They had a leader in Sarfraz Ahmed who could battle his way through the abyss. Right now, Rizwan is coming out in press conferences saying, I know we're not good enough. Like, is that a message you're supposed to send right before a inaugural game? Like, it's insane. And then you come to the king. Let's talk about the king.
No intent. I think Pakistan, anytime they've chased a big total, it's always been because of this start that Fakhr Zaman has given them, whether it be the 400 against New Zealand in the last ODI World Cup, whether it be just the last match against South Africa. Like the start that Fakhr Zaman gave you that platform for Rizwan and Salman Al-Yaga to come in and finish the match. Now, when you're 22 for 2 in 10 overs, you basically have negative platform to take off from.
Yeah.
And Babar Azam is just like the few shots that I've seen from him. First things first, I opened Twitter and there was a cover drive edit already made.
You guys need to stop doing that. For the sake of Pakistan cricket, stop gallivanting a cover drive. That's nothing. It did nothing in the scheme of the game. Like these fans are like so rabid and so ready to like jump behind their guy. Come and criticize him as well.
What's happened with the Pakistan fan base is that it's not like them analyzing or defending Pakistan, but it's more like Team Shaheen, Team Babar, Team Rizwan, Team Naseem Shah, which I think has divided the Pakistan cricket fan base. But just sticking to Babar Azam right here, Matt Henry, what I heard, is just kept balding to him on one length, and Babar had no response.
Yep.
There was no intent, there was no innovation.
At some point, you like try to charge the bowler. Like I remember, again, I keep bringing this up, but when we know Bumrah hits his lengths 9 or 10 times, he doesn't miss, and he knows his lengths very well. And from that same length, he can bring it in, bring it out. So what did ABD do in that 2023 World Cup? He knew that he was not playing them. He was playing and beating them. He came down the track and lofted one over mid-on 4. Right? Abdullah Shafiq. Yes, he did that. So if that's the case, if that's the counterattack you have, that threw away Bumrah's line a little
Look
bit.
at what
Wanted to do.
different formats, but Sam Consis just
Yes,
reverse
complete-
lapping him. I'm not expecting Babar to reverse lap a bowler, but
the intent, the innovation, the growing your game of it all. I remember Mohammad Haris came on our podcast in 2023 and was telling us about how Babar Azam, he's a learner. He learns from everybody. You know, I've been telling him about this lap shot and the sweep, reverse sweep, and all that stuff. That was 23 August. We're almost 2 years separated, and has Babar Azam learned a proper, like, does he have a proper answer to a Satner type spinner? Can he sweep the shot? Can he sweep a ball that's falling on good length? He can't. He's stuck. He doesn't have the counter, the counter of bowlers like that, of that caliber. And then that's when you come in these big tournaments and you get exposed.
In the build-up of this match, I kept saying that Pakistan has to rely on individual brilliances from match winners. And if you go back and listen to it, I never have I ever mentioned Babar Azam to be a match winner.
That was
Babar Azam to be a clutch player.
That was an absence that people noticed.
And I keep saying this, even in the Patreon exclusive chat, that Babar Azam is like that, the oldest child of the house who has become a disappointment. And so now the parents only expect from the younger kids.
Time.
So they don't even talk about, like, oh, Babar, okay, yeah, whatever. Babar will score his, 30, 40, 80 strike rate, and then he'll go home and his fans will be happy with his edits.
He scored 50 today. He scored a 50 today off 81 deliveries. And he
51 dot balls in his innings?
And he was chasing 320, which
51 dot balls just in his innings means that's nearly 9 overs.
Pakistan played, I believe, 140 dot balls, or maybe a little bit more than that. Like, and they're going out to chase 320. Like, Rizwan came out and said, like, oh, we were expecting to defend or chase something around the 240 to 260 mark. And honestly, Pakistan had New Zealand in a bundle with 77 for 3. They should have like ended that. Like, this should have not gone over 220. But again, seems to be just a lack of intent when it comes to bowling. Naseem Shah, this is his problem. I love Naseem Shah. You know, Lily is one of my favorite fast bowlers in world cricket right now. But he has this thing where he hits the length 3 or 4 times. And like the ball is zooming and zooming and doing all these things. And it's just lovely to see, and shaping in and shaping out. And then he gives 2 on the pad, trying for that magic delivery that in a Karachi environment will just not happen. And he goes whip for 4.
There's a lack of patience. Not like, I think
this T20 stuff has really ruined our Pakistani bowlers. Same thing with Shaheen, same thing with High Strove, same thing with Naseem Shah. Like, they don't have the skill set to have the mind and wherewithal to ball all 10 overs. They're looking for like, I think Shoaib Akhtar said this. They're looking for spells and like a 3 over, like, magical thing where they come in and take 3 wickets and put the game to one side. That's not how ODI cricket is played. If you've watched and studied ODI cricket is the long haul. That's why it's the most beautiful form of the game, is because it gives the opponent the chance to come back. When a team is 77 for 3 in 17 overs, Bashar, you know, the bowling side feels very good about themselves. But that's 17 overs. That's 1/3 of the game. There's a whole 40 over 35 hours left. And that's what New Zealand saw at the opening, and they charged for it.
Pakistan team, big disappointment. But the one thing that will never disappoint you is Yashi Sports.
Oh my God. Yashi Sports in Dubai.
www.yashisports.com. If you need equipment, expert advice, they've got you covered. And on top of that, they've given us an exclusive code of BP10 for 10% off your next purchase on any equipment that you need. We just bought our first pair of purchase from Yashi Sports. I got a thigh pad, you got cricket shoes, but you got a jock, very important. You know, in cricket, they invented the jock. What was it? I think they invented the jock before the helmet.
Well, there you go.
So we know what's more important.
Priorities, sir. Priorities. No, Yashi Sports is one of the main reasons that we are here in Dubai covering the Champions Trophy. We're going to be watching India versus Bangladesh tomorrow. And then we have India versus Pakistan on Sunday, which after this game, Bashar, I'm absolutely dreading.
Listen, let me just clarify. We are in Dubai for the experience. That's what I've been telling myself for the past month or so since we booked this trip, that I'm here for the experience. I'm here to watch legendary players like Virat and Rohit. Unfortunate not to get to see Bumrah ball. I want to see Babar bat. Hopefully get to see some cover drives in person.
He's part of the problem, guys. He is part of the problem.
And also just seeing an ICC event. We were part of the last the ODI World Cup in the UK. We went to watch that, and it was a terrific experience. Did not regret it. And I also tell myself that, you know, I will never be 26, single, and being able to take this trip.
And in Dubai, just chilling.
You know, it's for the podcast.
Rich. really, really
So if
good
you guys
looking
see us
guys.
in
If
any
you
of these,
girls see us, like my boys, right?
if you guys see us in any of these matches, come say hi. Happy to
Yeah.
meet you guys.
100%.
Pakistani, Indian, whatever origin you are.
Yeah.
Happy to interact.
We're gonna be in the India versus Bangladesh game tomorrow. By the time this comes out, we're already probably the game is probably underway when you guys see this. But
Can I come back to just your point where Pakistan is a T20 team?
yeah.
This almost same bowling attack was playing in the USA for the T20 World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And this same bowling attack cannot defend 160 against USA. They, in hindsight, they concede a lot more runs than they should have against India at that New York top-end pitch. They conceded 120. And just the one game that they won was Canada and Ireland,
yeah,
right?
one of those.
So
maybe both of those.
They can't even bowl well in different conditions. So like, is Pakistan's not a batting team? They're not a bowling team, and our fielding, all I also heard was also horrific today.
I mean,
that's all facets of the game.
That's the entire cricket that you're talking about.
And if our captain can't think on his feet when these situations happen, then we're basically done.
I mean, you got to analyze Rizwan's captaincy, and you got to analyze Rizwan's wins against South Africa and Australia a little bit. The reasons that Pakistan was ahead in all of those games was because he basically only utilized 4 bowlers. If you remember,
we only needed to, right? Because Haris Roof was taking wickets in the middle overs.
Yeah, so that's the key, right? Taking wickets in the middle overs. Right now, you don't have a bowler who does that. Abrar took 1 wicket, and it was in like the power play. So who's coming in and taking wickets?
Salman, they're more of containers. They don't actually spin the ball.
They don't spin the ball, and they don't have variation, and they don't know how to like spin the ball the other way or keep it straight. They will bowl you the stock delivery all day, every day. But you can get found out really quickly.
So teams who are not taking wickets in the middle overs, and the batsmen are just cruising through, even if they're like, if I know Salman, Khurshid were a bit economical considering the score, but if they're not taking wickets, and then that's when you concede like 100+ runs in the last 10 overs.
Because because you have 2 batsmen that are extremely set, and you have a Glenn Phillips who's waiting to just get his hands on the bat. And the cricket ball just goes flying all over the park. And honestly, like today was supposed to be one of those days which was like, festivities. Everybody was feeling so ecstatic, like on the chat, on the internet. It's such a brilliant air show by the Pakistani army as well. Everybody was just in a really good mood, especially Karachi Ice. Like, again, I say this again, Karachi Ice, that city has gone through a lot. And when like happiness and joy like this comes, I'm so excited that they get to witness that. But then, on the other hand, you have this horrid game where Pakistan is lacks character. Pakistan is never in the game, and not only that, but Mother Nature is not on the Pakistan side as well, because you had Babar Azam just waddling out after the first delivery. Like everything that could go wrong for Pakistan goes wrong in a snap. Now the question remains: will this be a situation where Pakistan will sink or swim? Because I was listening to Shoaib Malik, and Shoaib Malik said that after we lost to India in 2017. There was a huge not a press conference, but a huge meeting in our dressing room about who we were as a team, who we were as people and as players, and what we needed to do moving forward. I don't know who's talking to Babar about this. I don't know who's talking to Rizwan about this. Like, somebody needs to sit these people down and give them a talking to. If they want us to do it, Backward Point volunteers, because we'll be here in Dubai and we will do all the talking to you guys need to do. But there needs to be a clarity of roles. There needs to be clarity of ambition and plan. At this point, it just seems like everybody's going out there willy-nilly. Babar's innings was, sorry, I want to rant here, but Babar's innings was just hurtful. It hurt me physically because I was like, I would rather him go out for a 40 off 30 balls trying to hit the thing out of the park than this stupid, like, what am I supposed to do with the 60 odd off 90 delivery? Like, there's nothing to do with this. 71 strike rate and you're chasing 320. And this is Babar. He goes into his shell when the going gets tough. If you remember, there was a game against New Zealand when Shaheen was captain, and he was horrendous in that game. It was a T20 game, Bashar. Same thing. I was just rewatching that USA highlights just because, I hate myself. And same thing happened in there. He was, I think, 30 or 40 deliveries. He was like 17 or 18 odd in that USA game. When the going gets tough, he does not know how to accelerate. He goes back into his shell and waits for runs to come, and then he'll accelerate. That's what he was doing. He hit his 50, and then he started the next 16 or 14 runs he scored were off like 5-7 deliveries. But like, it was too late by then. Unless he took that even further, added another 40, 50 odd, made a big century and chased it home. Then I'd be like, okay, he was pacing his innings. That's what Virat Kohli did against Pakistan in 2022. That's what Virat Kohli did in the final against South Africa. He paced his innings. He needed to make sure that he goes as deep as possible. He just throws his wicket, Babar does. Top edge, gone. Mid wicket, goodbye. What am I supposed to do with that?
I'm surprised you still have expectations with Babar Azam.
I do, because even after all this, man, he still is Pakistan's best batter. That's the reality that we live in. Even after all that I've said and all like the pain and vitriol and anger and disappointment that I'm expressing, can you tell me a better batsman than Babar Azam in Pakistan cricket right now?
Well, you can only see a better batsman once you give him an opportunity. Like this is an ongoing joke on the podcast. You were like, Babar, please perform because Kamar Ghulam is knocking.
KD's knocking.
KG knocked out Babar Azam in the test match against England.
Yep.
Century on test debut. And he goes on to like score a few runs. Pakistan wins the match and the series. But if you don't give guys opportunities, we will never know who the next Babar Azam could be. And if Babar keeps playing in his shell, doesn't evolve his game, doesn't show more intent, then we'll have a lot more of these episodes where we go on rants, where we display our disappointment for Babar Azam. And I've actually heard this is from somebody from the team where when players are like, senior guys are like 30 balls, 20 runs, and a new batsman comes in, instead of the experienced guy, the settled guy taking a chance, they tell the new guy, you attack.
Aga did this today. Aga was the prime example.
In this match, anybody who's actually shown intent, whether it be Aga, whether it be Khusril Shah, they've gotten results. So if our top order had some intent, some innovation, we could have seen better results. And I know net run rate is very important, but I would rather have the Pakistan team be bundled for like 170, trying to chase us down in the first 20 overs, than them being like 60 for 2.
I agree. I think it's getting late, man. It's like 3 a.m. already, and we have to wake up really early for the India versus Bangladesh game, and I have to export all this stuff. Let's look forward to Sunday.
I've seen a lot of PCT math already.
Let's do it. Like, what happens on Sunday? Will this team show up, or will this be another disaster where you and I will be live witnesses of the mayhem?
The first thing we need to know is what is the status on Fakhar Zaman's injury?
Let's rule him out.
If he's out,
he couldn't run a single, Bashar.
If he's out, do we get Usman Khan to open the innings?
We could get a replacement, right?
Or are we going to get a replacement in Imam, Shan, Hasibullah, Mohammad Haris, Abdullah Shafiq, whatever it is? And are we going to put them straight into a game against India? Like, what are we going to do? Has Usman Khan played an ODI?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's played like 7 listed matches. So are we going to expose him against India
again?
In, like, the biggest match of the year so far?
Like, that's the question, right? I believe you go for Imam. He has the most runs in Asia. Well, not most runs in Asia, like better runs in Asia among the openers. Good, high, healthy strike rate. Healthy average, and just plays a little bit slower. But
I think Imam's PR has gotten to you.
No, I'm just saying, bro. This team has brought me down to my knees and has been begging for Imam. This is where we are.
If Imam and Babar are opening, then you can expect 30 in the first 10 overs.
But can I expect 270 and 50?
Listen, Babar in this match has been exposed. If you don't give him deliveries where he can drive on to cut on, he will be going into a shell. He can't get out of it. He has no release shots. He can't come down the track. I was just watching the England series against India, and I saw Rohit Sharma come down the track to Mark Wood, who's bowling at 150 kilometers an hour, and smash him for a 6.
I just want to edit what you just said. It's not that he can't, and there is proof online on many different occasions where he has. It's that he just doesn't anymore.
You mentioned Babar not being able to like play the scoop shot. Actually, in the century he made against Islamabad United in the PSL, he did play the scoop shot against Hunain Shah.
Yep.
So if Babar can play that shot in the PSL, why can't he replicate that in the Pakistan team?
Confidence.
Is it a fear of failure?
No, it's confidence. But in order to play that shot in the PSL, he knows that he's not going anywhere, even if he gets caught out on that delivery. He's captain of Zalmi, one of the biggest franchises, one of the highest paid players. He's going nowhere. That's why people in franchises, players like Azam Khan perform really well, and players like you name Siam was really well, because they get that freedom of being one of the highest paid players and having that leeway of like, hey, if I don't perform in an innings or 2, that's fine. At least I can try this, that, or the other. In Pakistan cricket, it's so cutthroat. You tell me Babar Azam selfishly played this innings today so that he'd have a 64 or 69, whatever he ended up with, so that he can at least have some runs under his belt, because he was so dry with runs that he couldn't, like you said, buy a century if it was thrown at him. Yeah, but this was like just Babar trying to find form in a Champions Trophy game, which is like every single game is so important that we're now basically at an eliminator against the mighty Indians.
60 plus innings and there's still no century by Babar Azam. At this point, the Pakistan team is carrying him. Like
100%.
he's not playing on performances in the past year and a half.
I mean,
20 average in test matches.
Michelle, we predicted this. We predicted that if Babar Azam does not show up in this Champions Trophy, there is a very high likelihood that he gets dropped. There is a very high likelihood that we don't see Babar Azam for a few months, a few series coming forward.
Is KG knocking again?
Bro, KG should be, KG is knocking for Saud Shakil's place at this point. Because
Bro,
Saud
this
is just,
whole batting order is just messed up. It's just messed up.
the squad is messed up. The squad is messed up, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know where to begin with this. We've already spent so much time on the malpractice of just trying to get the squad in together. Like every single chief selector that we have right now should be questioned. And just
where do you begin from? Did you begin from Misbah? Do you begin from Harun Rashid, Mohammad Hafiz, Mohammad Wasim,
I guess
Akib David, Asad Shafiq, Ali Dar? Where do you begin?
you go recency bias first. You take the four that we have right now.
Well, he'll be another guy.
How? Like the other guy, whoever the other guy was, Pakistan was coming off a winning streak and you messed it all up. This are the chief selectors. They did that. Nobody else did that.
I gave Pakistan a chance to the top four because I said,
oh, that's its own scandal.
Because I said that the home conditions will favor Pakistan. My foolish mind, I forgot New Zealand has played the second most ODIs in Pakistan in the past 2-3 years.
Yep.
They've toured after every PSL.
That's true.
They've sent their BCD teams, and now those guys have elevated in their main team, and they've just beaten Pakistan in Karachi.
Man, I don't believe in the home advantage with Pakistan. They haven't played enough home games.
It's a home disadvantage.
They don't know how Karachi pitches are supposed to go. Like, remember that iconic quote from Azhar Mahmood, like that about the pitches?
Where we did not expect the ball to
something like that. Like, you are playing in Pindi. What are you expecting to happen? It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. We actually have been getting a lot of flack on the internet for those hot takes on our top four.
Engagement.
Guys, like, don't take it seriously. Like, what my point was the entire time, which has been proven today, is that New Zealand is formidable. Right? You had Pakistan walking through this game. I thought New Zealand looked way more scary than you thought it was. And honestly, I say this again, New Zealand looks scary enough that they might even beat India.
I think also to your point about India not making it, you said that in the 2022 Asia Cup, India didn't make the final.
Yeah, they didn't make the final.
And then the 2021 T20 World Cup, India didn't make the top four.
Yes.
And those tournaments happen in the UAE. So you're saying that India recent form does not perform well in white ball cricket in the UAE.
Yes, and like people keep bringing the ODI facts. That's fair, but those are sparse from 2018 to 2022.
Like when is the last time they played an ODI there?
Has to be one of the Asia Cup games.
2018 Asia Cup?
Yeah, it has to be one of those, yeah.
And one of the games was against Hong Kong.
So, like, I get that people really want to, maintain the fact that India is formidable, but they have a very thin bowling attack. I keep saying this. They have and you'll see that tomorrow in the India versus Bangladesh game. That will not be an easy walk in the park.
Just to the Indian fans, you guys take this stuff too personally. It's his opinion.
It's my opinion. And I stand by it, by the way. I'm not like backing.
And what I'm understanding is they're taking it personal. They're like, oh, you're talking about Pakistan's bowling? Look at India's bowling. Look at Pakistan's bowling.
I mean, it's just fun for me. I think it's good engagement. A lot of Indian fans going back to our old videos and be like, hey, what about now? Pakistan's like almost knocked out. Guys, they might get knocked out. Like, I didn't say it was gospel that this is going to happen. I just said this is my opinion. And there's still 2 more games left.
Just to wrap it up,
please
a lot
wrap
of
it
PCT
up.
math happening. I think the equation now going forward is Pakistan has to win the next 2 matches. That's as simple as possible. How do they come back and beat India? We will talk about this in the Pakistan versus India preview. Stay tuned for a lot more content dropping here.
We're in Dubai, guys. Things are happening. We're going to matches. We're talking to people. It's going to be fun. Follow along and just help us on this journey. It's going to be a fun time.
Shout out Yashi. Shout out to our Patreon fam.
Yes. Shout out to Taimur Rabani. Shout out to AM Masood. I mean, you guys were great. Taimur was on the Patreon chat with me and just like giving me updates whenever I asked for it.
Cricket info.
Really, really appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun just, being together, going through this trauma as a group, as a collective. So I really appreciate everybody who was on the chat.
One of our members is, I think, from like a village in Australia. And he said that the Patreon chat, just being part of the whole Patreon group, helped him sort of find some community and discuss Pakistan cricket.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what the Patreon is there for. That's what the chat's there for. You guys can follow along as well, join up as well. We actually would love some like Indian friends in there as well, just to get their POV to see what
because we have Indian friends in the Discord chat.
Yes, we do.
Which is also
I couldn't access the Discord chat on the flight.
It's a great opportunity right now to join the Discord. It's absolutely free. The link to join is in the description. And it's just a wholesome place to discuss cricket. We had like over 100 people online and discussing in the live commentary chat.
Yes.
And also a wonderful place to be.
Yep. I am fried now. It's almost 3 a.m. We got to edit this, export this, and then get ready for the morning as well. Looking forward to that. Hey guys, we're going to try our best to have fun in Dubai, even if, things go south for the team that we're supporting. That's just cricket. That's just life. But we're going to have a lot of fun. If you guys, want to meet up, chat, DM, we're planning to throw this get together where we just, hang out with
Saturday.
fans on Saturday. And if you guys want to be part of that, stay tuned for that. Cool, sure?
Cheers.
All right, man. Take it easy.